Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for me to start my next project, and it's going to be the AMT 1964 Chevelle Malibu SS. This is the Craftsman Plus series. Part of that, you can see the box, and on the back is with all AMTs. You get all the parts run down and everything, but very simplified kit, very minimal parts count. It is a curbside, although you do get an engine plate for it. We'll talk about that later. And it's pretty much a snap together. In fact, I think it might exactly be a snap together. I don't really think you need glue with this thing. With these, you might, I'm going to use glue anyways. I don't really care. Okay. Really excited about my plans for it. I'm not going to build it like the box, anywhere near like the box. I've got an engine coming from Iceman Collections. I've got wheels and tires coming from Jay's Resin Wheels and Tires. I've got a paint scheme already all figured out, paint color. So really looking forward to it, really excited about it. I'll talk a little bit more about my plans and ideas for it at the end of the parts video that I'm going to show you right here. So let's go ahead and get right to the parts that you get in the box. Okay, so let's start with the quick shot of the instructions. Pretty basic interior, the glass. You actually do get a firewall, and looks like a radiator type of deal there. There is the engine plate showing that going in. That assembly, the bumpers and panels, the front, and the wheels and tires, and that is it. Pretty simple, pretty basic instructions there. We'll start with the wheels and tires. I'm leaving these in the bag because I'm not even going to use them. Decent white walls, skinny tires with the bias ply tread, metal axle, really skinny. Not using those. We'll go to the clear glass, the rear window and the front window and the rear window, my mistake, front, rear. Some marker lights and the headlights. Very nice clear glass. On to the red clear. Have the tail light lenses. 4 of those. To the chrome tree, we have bumpers, the rear tail light panel, the front grille and headlight, the center console piece. Even get a side mirror right there, a side mirror. Knockoffs, shifters, 2 sets of wheels, the hubcaps and the wire caps. Not using those, not using the center caps at all. So not using those. Let's go to this sprue tree where you have the engine plate. Not using that one. These are, look like for the suspension piece where the axle goes through. The hood, seats. One fell off. I don't even know if I'm going to use these seats. I got some different seats, some aftermarket seats, so probably won't be using these. Probably won't be using the steering wheel either. I got a steering wheel set coming in from MCV Products, Model Car Videos, YouTube channel. Some rosin, or not rosin, but 3D printed products. Got the steering wheels coming. I might use one of those. So there we have that. Once again, you can use this for the chassis piece here. This plate goes in like that from above, you know, and just detail it if you want to do that, or put in your own engine. That's why they molded the separate hood and they opened up the hood on these. Let me go to the firewall and actually a very nicely detailed and engraved firewall. Look at that piece, very nice. Got all your wires, you can use a marker and pick out all your wires in different colors and everything, and all the bolts and stuff. Just very nice looking firewall. The dashboard looks actually pretty decent as well. Nicely molded and engraved dashboard. Of course, there are gauges for the gauge panel there, so I'll be using those, but I'll be picking out any other details I can with the brush. Wheel backs, again, not using the wheels and tires from this kit, so not using the wheel backs, but there you go. I'm going to show you everything you get in the kit. And the interior tub, molded in, actually nicely detailed, molded in pedals for what it's worth. You have the door panels, okay engraving, I guess. Should be pretty okay to detail that with some paint. Pick out the details. Molded in rear seat, no big deal. No texture on the floor, just smooth plastic, no texture. I will be using embossing powder, as I normally do. So that is the interior panel, the interior tub. And we go to the chassis, which really cuts down on the parts in the kit, because molded in, one piece glob here for the front suspension. The exhaust is molded in, and all the rear end, shocks, ladder bars, trailing arms. Of course, the gas tank's always molded in on but pretty decent detailing on here, pretty decent engraving. So not bad, actually. If you just wanted to leave it like this and detail it with paint, it looks like a pretty easy, simple process. I'm not going to do that. I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Going to the body, this is a very nice looking body. I like this body style. It looks kind of more like a brick, I guess. I can't explain it, but I do like the body on this. The 64 and 65 Chevelles really float my boat in that respect. I really like them. Can't explain why, I just do. But there's where all the holes there, mounting points, nicely molded in and engraved windshield wipers, and your vent there. Very nice. Very little flash on this at all, guys. Very little flash. This is a very nicely molded kit. I know these are older kits, but they go through and redid the tooling and improved them a little bit. Like I said, with the hood, opened up the hood and added some more detailing on that. So very, very nice. Really looking forward to doing this one. Now let's go on to the decals, and this is what I like to see on a decal sheet. Okay, very nice decal sheet. Okay, we have decals for the door handles and window cranks. How about that? That is pretty cool. The radio, your gauge cluster, all the emblems, the Malibu SS, even have the SS in red or the SS in black chrome. We have center caps for the wheels, Chevrolet emblems, some more emblems and logos, the side emblem that is molded in right here. You can either pick that out and chrome it after paint, or you can just sand it down and use the decal. The Chevelle script, front Chevrolet script, and more emblems. Steering wheel cap, license plates, So I'm going to take and I'm going to sand down all this script. It's very nicely molded and engraved, and it would do very well with the foil under paint technique that I used on the Challenger with my last build. But there's the Chevelle script. I am just going to go ahead and sand this down and use the decals, because if you don't sand it down, the decals never line up. They never match up with the script. They're never the same size. It's always off. So I'm going to sand all these down and just use the decals. I don't know how many of the decals I'll use because I want a pretty clean look on this one. I'm thinking about even shaving the door handles on this. I may not. I don't know yet. I might shave the door handles. But that's a look at all the parts and everything you get in the kit. Now I'm going to tell you what my plans are. I mentioned in the intro that I have actually an LS engine coming from Iceman Collections. So with that, I'm going to have to probably do something with this to try to get it to fit. We'll see. I don't know. I'm definitely going to remove the exhaust here. Get all that out of there. Try to do that without messing up the rear, all this rear end stuff, because that's probably going to have to stay in there. I may even remove the drive shaft part here and make my own drive shaft, and probably do something with that there to make another one to hold up the drive shaft. I'm not 100% sure on the drive shaft yet. We'll see, but definitely taking the exhaust out. I might have to take the front suspension off and mess with it a little bit. You can remove it right there very carefully. I'm not very good at doing this stuff very carefully, so we'll see what happens. I may even take these things off here, these mounting things for the body, and they may not even be noticeable once I get it put together, so I might leave it like that. Once again, not sure yet. I'm going to take this piece off right now. I have exhaust mufflers coming. I have mufflers coming for a custom exhaust, and I will use some 3/16, 1/8 inch tubing, aluminum tubing for that, and to come out the back here. Try to get rid of all that. Grind it down, do whatever I can to get rid of it. Like I said, I won't know until I get the engine how it's going to fit in there and what I'm going to have to do to get, like, say, the exhaust and everything to fit, the headers that are going to come on it. Not sure with that, but I've already lined everything up, measured everything out, and with the body on and everything, the wheels and tires will fit nicely right inside there, so I don't have to do anything with that. I may have to adjust right here and drill holes for where I'm going to mount the wheels and tires. And that's about the only thing I'm going to have to do, I think, with the wheels and tires. And the same here, just wherever I decide to mount. I'll show you those pieces there. So we shall see. A lot of work to do on this one, self-inflicted. You could just throw it together like this and it looks really nice. I've seen a few of them done and these look really nice just done out of the box. Or how I'm going to do it, and that's going to be with some 20-inch front, 21-inch rear torque thrusts from Jay's Resin Wheels and Tires. The LS engine from Iceman Collections. Aluminum tubing for the exhaust and some mufflers from MCV products. If they're as nice as I think they're going to be, I think they are. So hopefully I can use those. So a little bit of work involved, a little bit more than I'm used to and that I normally do. I normally do basically an out-of-the-box build with just a few additions, but this one's going to be a little more extensive. So stay tuned for some updates on this. I'll show you how I did everything, and hopefully I do it right and don't mess it up. And maybe I can show you a pretty good build by the end of things. All right, thanks for watching Stumpy Grump Scale Speed Shop. I'll see you at the first update.